I'll ask my question first, tapos bahala na po kayo kung sinong gustong sumagot. Magandang hapon po sa inyo.
Magandang hapon po, Ginoong Senador.
Together with many of our colleagues here, Senator Lacson, Senator Gingona, Senator Escudero, and some of my colleagues who are sitting, former colleagues who are sitting behind you, and some who are in government now, we really took a stand to hold former President Arroyo accountable for her actions during her term and until now. No? So I don't think issue sa amin yon. You have some of the people, Congressman Colmenares here was one of them who drafted the impeachment complaint, who helped us during that time. I think hindi issue na many Filipinos want her held accountable and does not want her to escape. But I'd like you to help me draw the line, or katulad ng tanong po ni Senator Pimentel dati sa inyo, yung legal theory. Pwede niyo po bang ipaliwanag sa amin sa korte, and for my own clarification, ano po ang difference ng isang erroneous na decision lang ng Supreme Court o sabihin natin hindi tayo nag-agree? Di ba, kung tama yung decision nila, wala tayong pag-uusapan. Pero kung mali o erroneous, bakit erroneous? Hindi tayo agree sa kanilang tingin natin mali ang decision nila, or tingin natin irregular ang pag-issue ng TRO, whatever. When is it simply erroneous, and because they're the Supreme Court, we just have to follow? And when does it become an impeachable offense? I'd like that clarified, because ang dami po nagtatanong na that. And secondly po, in the answer of the defense, sabi nga nila, collegial body yan eh. So why single out the CJ when ang nag-decide nito yung grupo? Please try to clarify that.
I'll do the best I can. Well, firstly, the Chief Justice has been known as a primus inter pares. But if you look at internal rules of procedure with the Supreme Court, and we have filed our memorandum on that per order of the presiding officer, it is obvious that he wields a tremendous influence over the other members of the court. I would like to start from that assumption, from that premise, that he has broad powers, not only over the courts, but over the members of the court. Now, given that, as stated in the dissenting opinion of Justice Sereno, certain actions of the Chief Justice have, in our view, gone beyond that line from honest mistake to an impeachable offense amounting to betrayal of trust. Among other things, as stated in that dissenting opinion, one, there was an agreement in the deliberations of the Supreme Court that the ponente, Justice Velasco, was to consult with Justice Corona on the issue of whether or not the TRO had taken effect. In other words, whether the conditions were what we call...
So, sorry to interrupt you, but I want to be fair to the defense, because are you going to present witnesses on that, or it's just the DOJ Secretary?
No, we have already marked the dissenting opinion.
So it is dissenting opinion. So in other words, sir, what you're saying is that the partiality makes it different. If it is simply an erroneous decision,
yes,
but they were impartial,
yes,
it's not impeachable.
Yes.
But if it was the partiality, yes, amounted to betrayal of public trust.
Yes.
Okay. Number two, sir, I see from your complaint it says, in order to give them a chance to escape. So are you going to present witnesses, or are you also going to rely on some documents to show that, in fact, that was the motive of the Chief Justice to allow her to escape?
We don't have any document to show clearly that the conduct or the actuations of the respondent, the Chief Justice, were calculated for that purpose. But certain acts that are stated in the dissenting opinion of Justice Sereno would lend someone to the belief or the conclusion that all of these acts pieced together were synchronized in a manner as to enable or to give the former First Lady and her husband the opportunity to escape.
And then third, sir, distorting the Supreme Court decision on the effectivity of the TRO. And this is what the good Justice Secretary is testifying on. So do I get it right? What you're saying, kung ordinaryong desisyon, walang conspiracy, walang influence ng kahit sino, walang partiality, kahit hindi kayo agree, hindi impeachable yon. Kasi
Tama po
ang dali po kasing humusga dito dahil unpopular si Presidente Arroyo. Could you imagine if she was very popular and 90% of the people wanted her to leave? Would we be having this impeachment proceeding? So as senator judges, we have to make that legal distinction. Hindi kami pwede kung ano popular lang, dun po kami. No? So I'm trying to find out
Hindi po,
what makes it betrayal of public trust. So what you're saying, it's number one, it's the partiality that which you will show with the dissenting opinion and the testimony of this witness.
That's correct.
And then yung pong distorting and yung pong giving a chance to escape are conclusions based on the actions and on the partiality.
Hindi, yung distortion po, pinaliwanag yan eh. Maliwanag po yan sa dissenting opinion ni Justice Sereno. Yung butuhan, isang halimbawa.
Opo, meron po yun sa dissenting opinion, pero may sagot din po kasi ang defense sa kanilang answer. And kung i-compare namin, halimbawa po, no, kahapon nag-decide ang Senate President na hindi tatanggapin ang ebidensya tungkol dun sa free tickets. Collegial body po kami. Wala po sa amin tumayo, even if some of us may have disagreed or agreed. Pero, and of course, the Senate President has a lot of influence on us. Although pare-pareho kaming senador, he is the Senate President. But do you file a case only against him and not the whole Senate? Yung po ang sinasabi nung defense that we want clarified because marami din punta nung... So are you saying that there was a conspiracy here and the leader of the conspiracy is the is the Chief Justice kasi siya nag-influence sa iba? So are we also going to hold the others accountable? Kasi ang nag-issue ng TRO yung majority. Mr. President, just a 30-second extension.
Go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes.
Thank you, sir. Yung binabalikan ko lang, klaro po sa akin na yun yung partiality at yung sinabi po ng dalawa. But yung question ko po ng ang mali ba sa pag-i-issue ng TRO ay yung Chief Justice lang ho ba? O lahat ng Justice na pumirma?
Mamari pong yung ibang Justice din. Pero sa ngayon po, ang ating pinaglilitis dito ay yung Chief Justice.
Okay.
Sabagat yung pong mga nakasulat sa dissenting opinion ni Justice Sereno, yung mga ginawa o the acts done by the Chief Justice were apart from certain acts which were together with the other justices.
The reason,
There were certain acts that were his own.
And
that were so clear.
You have outlined that, and in your
Yes,
summation,
yes.
you will outline that. But the reason this is so important to us, sir, is because some of these cases, including the show cause, including this TRO, including the PASAF case, these are pending before the Supreme Court. So maraming nagtatanong. So kung hindi mo gusto ang desisyon at marami kang kaibigan na congressman, pwede bang ang gawin mo appeal via impeachment? No, meaning pailan mo ng impeachment, i-discuss natin yung kaso dito. On the other hand, wala ngang appeal sa Supreme Court. Your only remedy against Supreme Court justices, if they betray the public trust, is to go to impeachment court. So I also agree that we can call some of them here or we can look at the documents, etc. But I want the defense, the prosecution, to show us very clearly, no, what makes it different. What makes it different when it's an ordinary case na erroneous, na dapat hindi pasukan ng impeachment, and when it has reached a point that the only redress of our people to deal with the actions of certain justices or maybe a division or one of them is to go into a impeachment process. You have answered some of the questions, but I think that's so important because ang dami po nagsasabi na ongoing yung cases na yan, ba't nyo dinidiscuss and everything?
You know, Mr. Senator, there will be time for us to put all together
Yes.
the bits and pieces of evidence in order that we could present a clear picture of the partiality, which in our theory is betrayal of public trust. When we come to the summation, hopefully,
I will patiently wait for that, sir.
Yeah, because the bits of evidence have to be put together.
Yes.
We cannot take one act, questionable act of the Chief Justice or any associate justice in isolation.
Well, sir,
Yeah.
I appreciate your answer na linawan po ako ng konti. I was hoping kasi na i-represent nyo yung excessive entanglement kasi tingin ko nakakabit yun dito eh. Kasi kung ipapakita mo gaano kalapit kay Presidente Arroyo, ang Chief Justice, and then ang kasunod, kung ano, but since hindi nyo na-present yun, pero hindi naman kayo nag-flip-flop, no? Nag-decide lang kayo na wag i-present yun. That's why medyo pinangunahan ko lang ng konti. Kasi we have a tendency na kung saan-saan napupunta minsan important issues no dito. That's why I stood up to clarify this. And also, concerns ng defense to eh. Ilang beses na nila tinanong na ongoing yung case eh. And we have to be careful. After this impeachment, we still have to give all respect sa Supreme Court. But let me stop there, sir.
Just a last word, Mr.
Yes.
Senator, with the indulgence of the presiding officer of the Senate President. Hindi na po namin kailangang ipakita kung gaano kalapit si Ginang Corona sa dating Pangulo. May mga katibayan po kami, documentary pa, na ipapagtibay kung gaano kalapit mismo si Chief Justice Corona.
But sir, we cannot take judicial notice of closeness of the Chief Justice kay President Arroyo. And kanina po, sinabi po ng kasama nyo dito, hindi nyo na i-represent yung excessive entanglement. So ako, pag nag-review ako ng files nito bago ako gumawa ng desisyon, hindi ko pwedeng tingnan yung allegation nyo lang.
Hindi, ang sinasabi ko po, meron kaming ebidensya na
i-represent nyo
ipapakita
po.
kung gaano kalapit mismo si Chief Justice Corona sa dating Pangulo.
If you're going to present that, then I'll wait for that.
Yes.
But I was just saying, kanina po kasi ang understanding ko, yung excessive entanglement, kung tawagin nyo, ay hindi na ipapakita. But of course, even if he is very, very close, normal naman na i-appoint ng Presidente yung close sa kanya. Hindi normal na yung appoint ng Presidente yung kalaban niya. So you still have to show a link that closeness led to partiality. On that point, Mr. President, thank you for the extension, and may I take this opportunity also to thank the Senate President and Senator Gringo for what they did in 1986 because it's February 22 today and we have not forgotten, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Thank you, but that is in the past. We're looking towards the future.
Mr. President, before we are overtaken by before we are overtaken by the lateness of the hour, may we start with the cross-examination, Mr. President?